What up? Great way to start the day. Just finishing up out here. Well, I already watered my garden. I got some weeding to do in the garden. I got some window framing to do today. It's gonna be a mellow day. I was like, I'm not gonna do much today. And then I'm like, you got a bunch of shit to do. But life is good. Still out here making it happen. When I was cutting weight, I was out here 6-7 days a week plus, doing yard work, landscaping, house, windows, siding, whatever. Stuff at the shop. But, now that I'm basically at the same weight all the time, which was my goal weight, I'd like to trim some more off, and I'm working on that. But, I don't need to be down here every single day. It does affect me, though, if I'm not down here at least 3 days a week. Plus, what I do at the house. That's pretty good, for good, it's like it's about 6 to 8 hours a week, I'd say, of just like physical activity, sweating, pushing yourself so you get out of breath a few times. I run up a couple of hills and stuff, but a nice brisk, semi-fast, steady pace where you're just almost out of breath the whole time. But I quit the drugs and alcohol, and I was huge, and then I worked on this, getting my weight down, getting my health up, because I was very, I wasn't sick, but I was sickly, right? They wanted me on all these medications. I was well over 320 pounds for much of that time, and I just wanted to feel better. I wanted to look better, mostly. But I knew losing the weight I'd feel better, and so I did, and I do feel pretty great most days. I still got some injuries and stuff, but they're working their way out, doing mobility exercises, stretching, dead hangs, and stuff like that. Anyway, but I've been trying to shed vices, and social media, other than my YouTube channel, is one of them. Just starting to feel kind of back to normal without scrolling all the time. Like, I don't find myself scrolling endlessly on Amazon or Temu because I don't have any social media anymore. Although that did happen a few times, But, I'd like to put down the weed. I do these nicotine pouches. That might be the last one. And, but like a lot of my vices are more, they're within me, they're in my head. I like to, character assassinate people in my head. I like to judge people, very judgmental, just things like that. I think that, like, showing no emotion is better than being over emotional. Right? A lot of this stuff is just protective of ourselves, right? I'm speaking for me, so protective of myself, right? Your psyche, what you think about yourself, what you think others think about you, which is really, who cares, right? But we all do a little. Even when I say, I don't care or anything, I care a little. I definitely care a little. Telling stories of my past to people that I, just acquaintances and things like that, and they don't sound as cool to me as they once did, right? And part of that's the reaction from others, where I'm like, ooh, wow, maybe I should keep that to myself. But I was in a different world, a different life, very selfish, self-serving, drug-filled. Either I was doing drugs or I was selling drugs, and and it's not like something that's just always on my mind, but I do think about it from time to time. The big difference in how my life is today compared, sorry, it was a horse fly on my hand, compared to how things were. You know, like I have no desire to go back to how I was. And it seems like the more that I shed of my self-consciousness and ego and, you know, things like that, and these like things that are bad for me but seem to protect my psyche of some sort, I discover I got a bunch more. You know, and I guess that's the deal, right? You're never truly done. It's like artwork. I always say, well, it's never really done until it's out of my hands into somebody else's, right? Whether sold or given to them or whatever. And but yeah, it's a never-ending process, so it seems. But each time, you know, I feel better and better. You know, I wanna get rid of my, you know, I got a bit of an attitude, and you know, I got this grandiose feeling sometimes, and you know, like I said, the ego, I think I might be better than, or you know, above this or that, and you know, nobody's above anybody. You know, even people that are struggling and suffering, you know, there's always a chance you can pull out of it. You know, I didn't think that I'd ever lose over 100 some odd pounds. I didn't think that I'd be physically fit, you know, not constantly searching for drugs and alcohol and validation and people I don't really, you know, shouldn't be associating with or whatever, you know, even negative validation from myself. But yeah, that's where I'm at, man. It's a long video. But hope everybody's doing well, man. It's mid-July. You know, did you get that beach body you were looking for? Did you quit midway? Did you not see enough progress? I'm telling you, stick with it. Stick with it. Just keep pushing yourself. Little sliver, man, towards your goal. You know, and then eventually we die, and I guess we made it. He who sheds the most ego and vices wins, right? We used to think it was he who dies with the most toys wins, right? You can't take it with you. The Egyptians tried and it didn't work. Talk to you. Peace.